Good morning, friends. Today we're going to continue with Charlotte's Web, and we are on chapter 16, Off to the Fair. And there's a picture of some pig, Off to the fair. The night before the county fair, everybody went to bed early. Fern and Avery were in bed by 8. Avery lay dreaming that the Ferris wheel had stopped and that he was in the top car. Fern lay dreaming that she was getting sick in the swings. Those aren't very good dreams, are they? Lurvy was in bed by 8:30. He lay dreaming that he was throwing baseballs at a cloth cat and winning a genuine Navajo blanket. Mr. and Mrs. Zuckerman were in bed by 9. Mrs. Zuckerman lay dreaming about a new freezer, and Mr. Zuckerman lay dreaming about Wilbur. He dreamt that Wilbur had grown until he was 116 feet long and 92 feet high, and that he had won all the prizes at the fair and was covered with blue ribbons and even had a blue ribbon tied to his tail. Down in the barn cellar, the animals too went to sleep early, all except Charlotte. Tomorrow would be fair day. Every creature planned to get up early to see Wilbur off on his great adventure. When morning came, everybody got up at daylight. The day was hot. Up the road at the Arable's house, Fern lugged a pail of hot water to her room and took a sponge bath. Then she put on her prettiest dress. Mrs. Arable scrubbed the back of Avery's neck and wet his hair and parted it. All but 6 hairs stood straight up. Avery put on clean underwear, clean blue jeans, and a clean shirt. Mr. Arable got dressed and polished his truck. He was going to drive everyone to the fair. Bright and early, Lurvy put clean straw in Wilbur's crate and lifted it into the pig pen. The crate was painted green, and in gold letters it said, Zuckerman's Famous Pig. Charlotte had her web looking fine for the occasion. Wilbur ate his breakfast slowly. He tried to look radiant without getting any food on his ears. Homer, said Mrs. Zuckerman, I'm going to give that pig a buttermilk bath. What? A buttermilk bath. My grandmother used to bathe her pig with buttermilk when it got dirty. I just remembered. Wilbur's not dirty, said Mr. Zuckerman. He's filthy, said Mrs. Zuckerman, especially behind the ears. The food runs down around his ears and dries and forms a crust. And he has smudge from lying in manure. Well, he's dirty and he's going to have a bath. Edith, you're crazy, mumbled Mr. Zuckerman. So she walked to the pig pen with a bucket of buttermilk and a small wooden paddle. Dipping her paddle in the buttermilk, she rubbed Wilbur all over. The geese gathered around to see the fun. Even Templeton poked his head out cautiously to watch Wilbur get a buttermilk bath. Charlotte was so interested she lowered herself down. There's the picture. Can you see Charlotte lowering herself down? And poor Wilbur getting a buttermilk bath. Wilbur stood still and closed his eyes. He could feel the buttermilk trickling down his sides. He opened his mouth and some buttermilk ran in, and it was delicious. He felt radiant and happy. When Mrs. Zuckerman got through and rubbed him dry, he was the cleanest, prettiest pig you ever saw. He was pure white, pink around the ears and snout, and smooth as silk. The Zuckermans went up to change into their best clothes, and the animals were left to themselves in the barn. Please, 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 take us to the fair, begged the gosling. Please, 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 please. They all made a racket. Children, snapped the goose, we are staying quietly at home. Only Wilbur is going to the fair. Then Charlotte spoke. I shall go too, she said softly. I've decided to go with Wilbur. He may need me, and I think Templeton better come too. I'm staying here, grumbled the rat. I'm not interested in fairs. That's because you've never been to one, said the sheep. A fair is a rat's paradise. Everyone spills food. There'll be remains of peanut butter sandwiches and eggs, cracker crumbs, donuts, and cheese. Everywhere there's food for rats in tents and booths and haylofts, enough to satisfy a whole army of rats. Templeton's eyes were blazing. Is this true? Is this true? It is true, said the sheep. Go to the fair, Templeton. You'll have so many things like tin cans containing particles of tuna, greasy paper bags. That's enough. I'm going, said Templeton. Good, said Charlotte, winking at the sheep. Now then, there's no time to be lost. Wilbur will soon get in the crate. Templeton and I must be in the crate and hide ourselves. So the rat didn't waste a minute. He scampered over to the crate and hid under the straw. All right, I'm next, she said. She sailed into the air, let out a drag line, and dropped to the ground. The old sheep nodded. What a cargo! That sign should say, Zuckerman's Famous Pig and 2 stowaways. Look, the people are coming, umming. said the gander. The big truck with Mr. Arable at the wheel backed slowly toward the barnyard. Listen to me. When they open the crate and try to put you in, don't struggle. Pigs always resist. If I struggle, I'll get dirty. Oh, struggle. Pigs always resist. I'll struggle. If I struggle, I'll get dirty, said Wilbur. Never mind. Do what I say and struggle. If you were to walk into the crate without resisting, Mr. Zuckerman might think you're crazy, and he'd be scared to take you to the fair. Just watch what you're doing, Mr. Radiant. When they're getting you in, don't step on me. Be quiet, Templeton, said the sheep. Pull in your head. They're coming. Look radiant, Wilbur. Lay low, Charlotte. Talk it up, geese. So Mr. Zuckerman came walking down from the house, along with Fern and Avery and Mr. Arable. Everyone lined up at the fence, admiring Wilbur. That is some pig. No one realized that there was a rat and a spider in the crate. He's terrific, said Lurvy. He's radiant. Well, he's clean anyhow. Mr. Arable looked. Well, he's a wonderful pig. You'll get some extra good ham and bacon, Homer, when it comes time to kill him. Wilbur heard these words and his heart almost stopped. I think I'm going to faint. Kneel down, whispered the old sheep. Let the blood rush to your head. Look, screamed Fern, he's fading away. Hey, watch me, yelled Avery, crawling on his fours to the crate. I'm a pig, I'm a pig. Avery's foot touched Templeton under the straw. Boys are a pain. Why did I let myself get into this? Said Templeton. The geese saw Avery in the crate and cheered. Avery, get out of that crate. What do you think you are? I'm being a pig. Oink, 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 cried Avery. The truck is rolling away, Papa, said Fern. The truck, with no one at the wheel, had started to roll downhill. What a disaster, huh? Mr. Arable dashed to the driver's seat and pulled on the emergency brake. The truck stopped. The geese cheered. Charlotte crouched and made herself as small as possible in the knothole so Avery wouldn't see her. Come out at once. Wilbur fainted. The pig has passed out, said Mrs. Zuckerman. Throw water on him. Throw buttermilk. The geese cheered. Lurvy ran for a pail of water. Fern climbed into the pen and knelt beside Wilbur. It's sunstroke. The heat is too much for him, said Zuckerman. Maybe he's dead, said Avery. Come out of that pig pen immediately, cried Mrs. Arable. Avery obeyed his mother. Lurvy returned with water and dashed it on Wilbur. Throw some on me, cried Avery. I'm hot too. Keep quiet, hollered Fern. Keep quiet. Her eyes were brimming with tears. Wilbur, feeling the cold water, came to. He rose to his feet, and the geese cheered. The geese keep cheering, huh? There's Wilbur getting water thrown on him. He's up. I guess there's nothing wrong with him. Well, I'm hungry, said Avery. I want a candied apple. Wilbur's all right now, said Fern. We can start. I want to get on the Ferris wheel. Mrs. Zuckerman and Mr. Arable and Lurvy grabbed the pig and pushed him into the crate. Wilbur pretended to struggle. The harder the men pushed, the harder he held back. Wilbur kicked and thrashed. Nothing wrong with this pig, said Mr. Zuckerman. All together now, boys. Shove. With a final heave, they jammed him into the crate. The geese cheered. Lurvy nailed some boards across the end so Wilbur couldn't back out. Then, using all their strength, the men picked up the crate and heaved it aboard the truck. They did not know that under the straw was a rat, and inside the knothole was a big gray spider. They only saw the pig. Everybody in, called Mr. Arable. He started the motor. The ladies climbed in. Mr. Zuckerman and Lurvy and Fern and Avery rode in back, hanging on to the sideboards. The truck began to move. The geese cheered, and the children answered their cheer, and everyone went on their way to the fair. That was silly with the geese all cheering, huh? Well, we will continue reading tomorrow. Have a great day.